we saw earlier was unfortunately fairly short because he's just so good. He took down Jim Rising so quickly. To the bottom left-hand side, our teal Protoss player is going to be Cyan. He just came out of that last game against Jim Rising and did end up tying the best of 2 1-1. As we have to the bottom right-hand side of the map, it is going to be our red Terran player. It is, of course, INnoVation. And don't forget, INnoVation Neve is on the way. It's coming up. It'll be our final series of the night as our current schedule stands. But stand by, because at this rate, it might just change once again. So, just keep your eyes and ears open. I'm obviously going to try and keep you guys up to date as much as I can. I mean, I'm telling you guys this information as soon as possible for myself. So, basically, that's why I changed the order of the matches around on the break screen, because that's what I got told, and that's why I messed up the score on the Cyan Jim Rising game, because I was in a rush trying to organize that and mix things around and all the rest of it as well. Great set of games so far today, though. It's kind of crazy. I did this stream yesterday, this cast yesterday, and it was really fun. Like, usually when you start a cast at like 10 p.m. and you have to go on for like 4 to 5 hours, you're probably thinking like, oh god, this could be brutal, but yesterday passed so quickly, and today's passing so quickly as well, because these games, this format is just so fun and interesting. We're getting to see so many different matchups so quickly, and you know, it's cool, it's interesting. We just get game after game after game. It's working out really well, so I'm having a lot of fun here. The time is passing way too quick for my liking. Like, I don't like the fact that we're going to be halfway through the group stages already after tonight. It feels like it's going way too quickly. Way too quickly indeed. Hopefully you guys are feeling the same. Of course, if you did miss any of the matches, they are available on Twitch almost immediately on the VOD, which is not paywalled or anything. But you can also check out the matches on the YouTube channel. They go up, well, it's kind of a shame. Basically, we have so much StarCraft 2 content coming on that we just can't keep the YouTube channel up to date, because we release 2 matches a day over there, and it's just not enough, because there's just so much happening. So that's why you won't find these games on YouTube for a week or 2, but they will go up there eventually as well. Otherwise, there is still a lot of great matches you can check out on the YouTube channel, so you can watch those for now instead if you'd like to. Reaper just keeps on moving around, and Tep just doing a little bit of damage here and there as the Reaper just get back in towards the main base. INnoVation back at home, just with the Widow Mine on the way out in the starport building. Very standard setup here in the early stages. We're going to be seeing the Stargators finished up for Cyan, and we're going to be seeing an Oracle starting to come out. So an Oracle is on the way already, it's starting to be Corona boosted here early. And there's going to be seeing these couple of Adepts from Cyan starting to pop out across the map as well to see if he can maybe do something. I mean, he might look to be a bit aggressive. A few Adepts at the front while the Oracle goes towards the main base. Definitely a possibility. We're seeing these SCVs continue to come down to low ground. This orbital is going to be finishing up right now, and a mule will drop down onto the mineral line. These 2 Adepts Cyan continue to head over to the right and looking to see what else they can get up to. Widow Mine on the way up, and the Medevac as well, also on the way out. So here's these first 2 Adepts moving forward. It's only 2 Adepts, won't be able to one-shot Marines or anything, so a little bit ineffective. Actually doesn't even pick up the first kill just yet, as these Adepts, they will stick around. Medevac comes in, lifts those Marines, and will regroup them with the SCVs. And use the SCVs to tank then, of course, as the Oracle comes in. Hasn't done anything just yet. That's why INnoVation has to be maybe a little bit careful. But with the Medevac, he should be okay. Just has to keep the Marines alive, and you can see some very precise micro going on right now. Doesn't raise the depot as the Adepts will shade in towards the mineral line in the main. He actually might be able to get some good damage done here, because there is nothing to defend in this main base. So already 1 worker going down. Marine's actually going to start dropping over here, as INnoVation loses 1 of them already, and continue to move forwards, and we'll just chase these Adepts away, try and keep them away from the SCVs. Oh, Widow Mine will connect, and that's actually going to be a pickup which helps a lot. He picks off 1 more worker, because this Adept will get caught in the main base. 2 Oracles coming in though, and are they going to be able to do a lot? Well, probably, because the Widow Mine here is on cooldown, and with 2 Oracles, you obviously start one-shotting these workers, so they are going down super quickly, and INnoVation is taking a lot of damage. 13 workers killed so far. Cyan put himself in a great position here already. Comes into the natural expansion now too. He's just picking off Marines as they drop out of the Medevac. Oh my god, he's going to lose one of these Oracles, but man, he's traded so well. Maybe could have probably pulled the Oracles back there towards the end, but still picks off so much. INnoVation, he just lost, well, what? 15 workers, 11 Marines. He got 2 Adept kills and an Oracle. That is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Some really good stuff here so far for Cyan, and he's in a great position now in game number 1. A position which maybe we didn't expect Cyan to kind of really end up in here today. As we continue to set on up here, look to see how this will be continuing. Going to be seeing the Nexus still building on the third base, and a couple more pylons coming down. The Robo facility on the natural expansion as well, setting on up. Twilight Council too, so just continuing this tech tree, getting out of this just Stargate based tech early, of course, which is very good for harassing, but as the game continues, you need Blink or Resonating Glaze. You need the Twilight Council based upgrades and the Robo and the Forge. And that trifecta of kind of units of buildings in the mid game of PvT is Twilight, Robo, Forge. And that's what you've got to kind of aim for heading towards those mid games for the PvT. So Oracle keeps on moving around, and is going to go down to the Widow Mine there in the mineral line. A little bit unfortunate, but hey, he's already got so much value out of those Oracles that he can't be too upset with that. Maybe a little bit annoyed that he lost it in the way he did, but definitely not the end of the world. 3 more gates coming up. I mean, obviously so far he's just been on kind of 2 base of production, but now he's getting his third Nexus set up and 3 base of saturation. Well, Cyan is just going to be able to very easily produce off of 6 gateways, if not even more than that. Sometimes you see players going up to 8 gateways or so. Depends what sort of style he'll play. It's interesting because he has made the Resonating Glaives early, which is kind of one of these upgrades which you would expect to see a lot more gates with, because it's a very aggressive upgrade, which generally suggests more and more fights. And well, Cyan has to be very careful because INnoVation moving across here, about to hit stim and combat shields with Widow Mines mixed in. This could be very deadly. A couple of Phoenix here as well, not going to be able to do too much. The Observer overhead will pull back just a little bit more. Depths warping in, single sentry force field will help to push the Marines back, and the thing is, there's still no stim. Now combat shield's about to finish as well. Has to be careful. 2 Widow Mines still around here. As we're going to see the scan coming down, and that's going to be a cancel on that set of Adept shading forwards right there. Continue to push on forwards, and Adepts still seeing what else they can get up to. Another few Adepts on the third base. And is this going to be the commitment in? He wants to split these up if he's going to try and go for this. The Widow Mine is actually unburrowed. Going to reburrow right now. As the Adepts, well, they take a little bit of splash damage, but he is cleaning up. The Liberators, though, is something he doesn't have an answer to. And that might be his major problem here in the next few moments. We're seeing a couple of Widow Mines loading up. He's actually going to start dropping towards the main base. Well, where's the Mothership Core? That's my question. It is over in the natural. It's not here just yet. Stalkers will warp in. I mean, it's the right response, obviously, but they don't have Blink yet, so it'll be annoying for him to try and fight against these Liberators. And INnoVation is making the most out of his situation, which is not a pretty one. Currently going into his 4th and 5th racks, no 3rd CC, so we'll continue with the pressure. I'm actually going to see Adepts go in center of the map, and they're going to pick off reinforcements here, which is a nice idea. And Stalkers will come forward. They're going to try and get to the high ground and pick off Liberators while out of range of those defender zones. Actually going to see one medevac is not quite going to go down. Widow Mine's helping out a lot. Does he get the final shots? He doesn't. Small drop into the main. At the same time, though, his counterattack is going to be very annoying as these Adepts shade in, and, well, straight up, they're just going to kill a lot of workers. I don't think INnoVation is really going to get quite the same amount of damage done with his low amount of units over here. 13 SCVs lost, but that said, we are going to be seeing a lot of bio units coming in to defend this as well, so Cyan's going to get pushed away. He's still struggling to deal with these units over here. He's killed 20 SCVs, and INnoVation's income will once again be really kind of struggling, but the efficiency of his army right now is really pulling through for him. These couple of Widow Mines he has, oh no, he's going to lose the Mothership Core, the Stalker as well. He finally cleans it up. At least he dropped that overcharge to help out. Better to get something off of that Mothership Core than nothing at all. And as we see, these 2 medevacs empty, having to fall back, and well, Cyan has weathered the storm. He has gotten past this initial aggressive phase of INnoVation, which can be so hard to deal with. Now he can maybe group himself together a bit, take a few moments to stabilize. This could be where he sort of gets into that position where he can continue to push back and, again, get into the position he needs to be in to finally kind of shut down INnoVation's continued 2-base pressure. Cyan's still 20 workers ahead, down in army supply and down in upgrade. His +1 armor will finish up shortly. Now has Blink as well, though, and that will help a lot in terms of getting rid of the Liberators, which have been annoying so far. So many Widow Mines, though. Some force fields coming down this low ground. Stalkers, they don't have high ground vision, I guess, which is kind of why you can't target that medevac as easily. I'm just going to be seeing a couple more Depths warping in over here. Now, 2 Liberators are stationed up, 1 in the natural, 1 in the main. So that's a lot of damage starting to be done. And Cyan losing a lot of mine time during this. We're going to see Widow Mines moving a bit further forwards, a couple more Marauders going down at the front. Cyan doing a good job of staying out of range of the mines, as now they're going to have to lift up and pull away a little bit. As we're going to see the scan coming down. The Observer far enough back, though, is a nice idea by INnoVation. As we're going to see the Marauders coming down the ramp to try and help. Liberators still denying mining in the main and natural, and that does put Inno into a huge income lead. There's 2 more Liberators moving forwards here, and does Cyan just go for this? He's starting to try and see what he wants to do. A little bit of indecision, loses him a few more Stalkers in a situation where literally every Stalker is going to count in terms of defending this against this. The Assimilator taking some damage. You know, if he takes this down, well, it's less gas that Cyan has to work with. He definitely isn't kind of mining too much gas right now, so it will hurt him here as he backs off once again. INnoVation, again, definitely forcing a lot of lost mine time with those Liberators. They are now dead, though, in the main and natural. There's the Lib sieging up once again. Cyan engages from a bit more of an open area, making life a bit easier, but oh no, the Stalkers taking heavy hits from the Widow Mines. Does he get rid of the Liberator here? No, he doesn't, not before the Stalkers go down, and the Liberator continues to pick up more and more units. Adepts just get cleaved away at. And well, there's one more set of Stalkers coming in, but he's just lost so much now. And INnoVation is looking to make this work. What a comeback in this game after losing so many workers early, after being so far behind for so long in this game. He is going to pull it back for this continued attack, and that fight could have been so much better for Cyan. He was maybe just a little bit too eager to jump on in, feeling as though he could maybe engage, but the Widow Mines picked off so much, and then he didn't even get rid of all the Liberators for a long time. And that continued damage output cleaned up the Adepts and Immortals, and now here we are. INnoVation, he takes down the 3rd base, and with the 3rd base falling, what do you even do as Cyan? I mean, sit back and wonder how this went wrong, wonder how this guy just keeps on making Terran look broken in TvP. Absolutely crazy. I mean, it's INnoVation, you got to expect him to look impressive, but this was ridiculous. After being so far behind, he's going to be able to keep on fighting here, and he's looking to just clean this up. Adepts being pushed away. These Stalkers on the top of the ramp are going to be continuing to try and fight as well. But the Liberators siege up once again. There is not enough anti-air to get rid of those Liberators. The Widow Mines go off on the Stalkers in the back. And that is going to be INnoVation taking game number 1 of this best of 2. Winning to the south side of the map, our red Terran player is going to be INnoVation. And to the top side is going to be the teal or Cyan Protoss player. It's Cyan. Now, thank you very much, Yags, who hit that resub button during the last game. Thank you so much, dude. Sorry I didn't read you out sooner. Obviously, we got caught up in what was one heck of a hectic game. 12-month resub from Yags. 1 entire year, and that's what he says in his message. A whole year. Here is to another one. Keep up the great work, man. Well, Yags, thank you so much for the support. 1 year resub is huge. Thank you so much, and so glad to have you with us going into 2017. Happy New Year, of course, as well. And, yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate the resub. It is the day of resubs. Like, what's going on? That's like it must be going towards our 10th resub of the day already. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Guys, a few of you asking about the best of 2. So the entire group being round robin is basically based on map score. There's no match scores, just map score. So it's all about map score. So if it's a 1-1, it doesn't matter. That's it. You just both take 1 point away from this kind of opponent, basically. So that's how it works. It's cool. I actually really like it. Casting it, it's really fun. It's interesting. It's kind of nice to see. It's cool. It's a nice, fresh, different format. That's really cool. It's working out well. I'm really enjoying it, and hopefully you guys are as well. I mean, I know I've said this a bunch of times, but it's just true. I'm having a great time here tonight, and yesterday as well. Can't wait for tomorrow's matches too. Tomorrow's group going to feature players such as Massa, Lacira, and Hero as well, by the way. And there's going to be some great games going on the stream tomorrow, and a bunch of New Zealand and Australian players as well. And then on Wednesday, we're going to have INnoVation, basically INnoVation. Ufernal, Super, and Impact as the headline players alongside Game Time, Illusory, and one more player who I can't think of off the top of my head. You see this probe? Just continue to move around, have a little bit of a scout here early, see what's up and see what's happening. And just going to be seeing a Reaver starting to move around and seeing what else is going on. Rubber facility dropping down. Pretty standard so far. I mean, no Stargate this time is obviously going to be the main difference coming in from Cyan, as INnoVation goes into a pretty standard, similar build. Widow Mine will start up shortly and looks to be very similar to the build he used in the last game, which is just typical INnoVation. Find something that works, just keeps doing it. Although he is going to make a change. Doesn't actually build the Widow Mine, instead goes into a Cyclone early on. So setting that up, and let's see what this will become. Let's see what's going to happen with this, as we have Cyclone just over halfway done, and we'll continue to pop on out here in the next couple of moments. Starport will finish. Single medevac on the way. And again, there's that robo facility for the side we were just mentioned earlier. That's about to finish up, so we'll just see an observer first, I guess, and then go into whatever else he feels the need for, whether it's multiple observers, maybe he gets a warp prism to pressure a bit. A few different options for him. No Twilight just yet, though, so not going into any sort of Twilight-based build. And so this might actually be a fairly fast Robo Bay, which is something a lot of people have been doing as well. Fast Robo Bay going into Colossi nice and early before the third base. And there's that Robotics Bay coming on down. It's just been what people have sort of been going for in TvP as of late. Just this, a different way to take a third base, basically. Instead of kind of rushing into third base with lots of gateway units to defend with an early Twilight upgrade, just take the third base slower, with a kind of a bit of a better tech behind you, and a bit more potential to push on the map and so on as the game continues and develops. INnoVation with the Cyclone, with a few Marines, will be dropping on in towards the natural expansion, and just going to start working his way through the actual Nexus. Comes in over here, and maybe forcing another overcharge here in a moment, but he's actually still out of range, and INnoVation will just sit here, pick off probes that come in range, and just working his way through the Nexus. It's kind of crazy how much damage Cyclones actually do. As the Mothership Core takes a lot of damage here. He loses one Marine as he picks up and backs away, man. That Nexus, so much damage taken for this being like 4 Marines in the Cyclone, like, and the fact he killed off a few probes, and he was targeting the Mothership Core a lot. In the end, though, it is a good defense from Cyan. He doesn't lose more than he needs to. Maybe a couple of probes escaping back into range of Marines and so on, but keeping the Mothership Core alive, it's a pretty good defense overall. Actually, we'll go into Disruptor here initially. It's another way of doing this. You can go into a couple of Disruptors, then Colossus as a switch. It's another completely fine way of kind of playing out this mid-game as well. So, either way, Robo Bay tech, and he's actually going to go Warp Prism Speed. Didn't see that one coming. It's actually quite late to go Warp Prism Speed and Disruptor drops, but that is looking to be what he wants to go for. So Cyan, setting up into that, and looking to see how he's going to do this, I guess. This medevac units continue to head down to the south side. I'm just going to be seeing the observer just over here, just seeing what's up. INnoVation's follow-up, though. 2 tanks already finished. Does he have Sim starting in combat as well? I'm just looking at this and wonder if he pushes with the next couple of medevacs, like in these couple of tanks. Could be very powerful if he did, but he might get caught up defending this Warp Prism, in which case he might not. He might just wait until Stim combat and +1 finishes up. So this Disruptor coming on into play, and the problem is, I guess, these Marines and the Cyclone do pretty good damage. In the end, 4 workers go down. INnoVation can't really stop that at that point. I guess he could have tried to pull his workers away. It's one of those things where actually, against a Disruptor drop, there's certain points at which it's just better to just not pull your workers away, because then they stack up less. And it's, you know, if you just leave them mining normally, they are much more likely to just, you know, they're much more likely to just sort of kind of do less damage because the workers are just spread out better against the ball of death. So, kind of interesting. We are going to see 2 more medevacs, a bit of a push across the map. He's actually just going to load up everything. And I guess he'll try to take position over here. 2 tanks behind the bushes, or kind of along this ledge. Makes it difficult to engage into them, because instead of being able to engage directly, you kind of have to go around the side a bit, / have no vision. As you see, Disruptor drop coming down, trying to push back these units. And INnoVation is, oh, just missing the lift up there in the end. A little bit too slow on that one. As we see units pushing forwards, I actually think Cyan should have enough to kind of push this away. A couple of force fields, and he's going to push that back. No blinks, he can't chase these medevacs, but he's already done enough. Shut down this attack, and INnoVation just flying back home now if he is, or not back home. He's just going to stop short, and he's just going to sit to the left-hand side. 2 more medevacs going up the right, so he's really looking to rely on drop-based attacks over the next few minutes to kind of make this work. He's on 5 racks back at home with no third CC, currently making 3 mirror orders and 4 Marines at a time, so he's continuing to commit to the 2-base pressure exactly like he did in that first game. Targets down this pylon, and actually Twilight Council may fall with Blink. Could be a huge pick-off for INnoVation. Just can't help but say it, but putting your tech in this position on the natural, never a good idea. It's one of the first things that's going to die in a drop. And why would you want your tech to die in a drop? Well, you wouldn't. It doesn't make sense. There's attack coming in over here as well, and well, 1 tank falls for INnoVation, but he's cleaning up the bad gateway units. He's already picked off a couple of sentries, continue to push in, picks off another Immortal. In the main natural expansion, he is going to end up having to lift up and back away. 2 more medevacs heading over there, though, as INnoVation just out-positioning his opponent and just having too many units in every location he looks to be in. As we see these 2 medevacs going to load in the main. Actually, maybe enough units here for Cyan to defend, but only because he's given up his 3rd Nexus, more or less, at this point. Going to be seeing a couple of pylons starting to build on up. couple of pylons building. The probes are going to come back in, and Stalkers trying to keep on pushing these units away once again as the drop into the back of the natural expansion is just picking up multiple workers. And yes, Cyan cleans up at the third base, but at the cost of basically losing everything in the natural. He's also going to lose the Forge, and for the second time this game, Blink is going to be cancelled on the Twilight Council as it goes down once again. Disruptor Shot comes in, and INnoVation lifts up at the very end to keep those units alive, at least most of them. Sets up a sensor tower of his own right now as well to watch for any kind of counter drops coming in, get ready to react quickly to the disruptor drops. It's going to come in nicely in time to actually spot that Warp Prism coming down the right-hand side. Behind all of this, he starts to build up his third Nexus, third command center as well, which of course makes a lot of sense. Because hey, at this sort of stage of the game, having a third CC is a good thing to start transitioning into. Disruptor will drop in, but he's already evacuating the mineral line. And if he doesn't get any damage to those disruptors, well, it's just supply being wasted on this position, which, honestly, could be better used on this side of the map defending right now as INnoVation pushes across once again, working his way through that pylon for a couple of moments here. Warp Prism looking to go around those Marines, still nothing on this natural expansion. He's just waiting for that Warp Prism to be used, doesn't care how much mining time he's losing. The walls are going to go down, INnoVation still with way too much at the front. The Warp Prism is still sat over here, not doing much at all. Cyan will GG out, allowing INnoVation to go 2-0 against Cyan in this group stage. And that's another win on